Hi everyone, this is Richard. Today we are going to go over maps. Maps is a type of iterable. It's not exactly the same. It's kind of a cousin more than anything else, but it's the same concept of having an object representing multiple values. So the type is map, and let's just say my map equals. To initialize it, you have to use curly brackets. So remember, in lists, we use open parentheses. For maps, curly brackets. You have to have a key followed by a value. Each pair is separated by a comma. So true 4.5, hello, bye, end it, and semicolon at the very end. So this is called a key. It is what, and then there's a colon, and then there's the value itself. Remember, in lists, this was in an ordered form. So 0 place, 1 place, 2 place. Maps don't understand that at all. It basically is having a key that you can access the value through the key. Best analogy, I would say, it's kind of like a social security number. So, at least in the United States, everybody should have a social security number. So, if you're in, for example, a big, huge room and you want to call a person, you could call the person's name, but there might be more than one person with the same name. Maybe birthday, maybe there might be 1 or 2 people with the same name and the same birthday. So it kind of gets a little confusing. But every single person has a unique social security number. So you just call out the social security number, who actually has this, and assuming people are paying attention, they'll say, oh, it's actually me. And you won't run into any trouble. That's basically the concept of the map. If you didn't automatically recognize who it was because it's just some guy off the street, using a social security number is a great way. So in this circumstance, if we access my map, just as lists, remember with lists we use the open brackets, if we type in the key, we will access the value. Hello, okay? And the key could be true. It will be 4.5, all right? And if we put in, of course, hello, it will give us bye. Notice a couple of things here. Notice that the value could be something like the string, okay? So it's a string here. I'm sorry. It is a value here, and it is a key right here. In this circumstance, you can have anything be, it's dynamic, okay? So anything in this map could be a key, anything could be a string. If you want to change that, if you're saying that, no, I want, like a social security number, everything to be an integer followed by a string. Remember, this is called parameterized typing. So parameterized type, this is how it's done with a map. Key, comma, value. So here, remember on the left side, it's optional parameterized typing. So there's really no error, and honestly, this will still work. Right? It'll still print out. But what if, for example, you say, no, that's not good enough. I want to make sure a social security number is not a string. I want to make sure the social security number is not a bool or anything like that. I'm going to put it on this side that says it absolutely has to be an integer, key, string, value. Otherwise, it'll give you a yellow flag and it won't actually work. So we'll have to change this. And we're going to have to change this into a string right there. All errors, warning flags go away. No errors any longer. All right, so that's the requirement because that's the, I'm not sure what that's called, required parameterized string. Maybe I knew it at one time. I don't remember what that actually is. So when we go to print, we can access each value. Again, that's going to be 4.5, but that's going to be a string, right? It's going to be a string because it's in the quotation marks. Now, what if you want to access the key when you have the value? You really can't. What if you try? All right, so I'm going to put in hello. Let's see what actually happens. It's null. What is it doing? It's basically saying, I'm looking for the ID, the key, right? I'm looking for the key, hello. And it looks through the list and says there is no key hello. And remember in Dart, if it's not specifically defined, the value is always null. So that's what it's saying. So again, if we're going to go with the analogy, it's like saying if I yell out your social security number, you'll come to me and say, oh, that's me. But what if another person comes to me and says, what is my social security number? I'm going to say, I don't know. So I can get the value, I can get you, but I can't get you your social security number. But if I have your social security number, I can identify you. That's how it works, okay? This is actually very helpful in a number of situations like that. Assuming you don't want to go through like a list, each and every single individual. If there's a big, huge room, that's a lot of people. So that's the best way to actually organize large sets of data. Couple of things to keep in mind. Keys must always be unique. Just like social security number, okay, I'm going to beat this analogy down. It has to be unique. What if it's not? Okay, well, let's try it. Let's say 3, and let's give it the value of true. Okay, so this is not a bool, this is a string, so it still is going to work. What happens when I print it? 3 is true, but where's the 3 hello? It gets kicked out. So basically it gets ignored. So if you have 2 people with the same social security, one gets kicked out, the other gets actually the social security money. All right, so that's life, unfortunately. So that's the importance of not having keys that are identical. And it'll give you actually an error and say keys in map cannot be equal. In other words, you cannot repeat them. That's a big no-no. Okay? So I hope that was helpful. And now, just remember with my map, it is this variable. It is an object, so I can do stuff with it. What if I want to print out the keys? What are all the keys in this? I can print them out. Okay? 3, 44, 0. What if I have... Notice these are in no particular order either. What if I want to get all the values? Okay, I don't care about the keys. Just what are the values? It gives me the values. What if I want to do length? That's an oldie but goodie, right? 3, 1 pair, 2 pair, 3 pair. That's what it does, right? And let's see if there's anything else. Whoops. Control space. Remember that gives us the autocomplete. Oh, you know, what I could do is show you a couple of other methods. So my map, what if I want to clear it? Okay. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to put the... Whenever you're using a method and you want to access it, remember, open and close parentheses, that's basically calling it. It basically says activate it. Activate the clear function or method, whatever, on my map. So it actually clears it. And then it actually clears it up. Okay? What you could also do is, if you're going to call a method as well, add. Add all. Okay? It gives you parentheses, but in there, the same style, bracket. Okay? And it's telling you right here, you have to do an integer and string. Don't think about doing anything else. 34 dog 8 cat 10 fish. Okay, you got to end it with a curly bracket and parentheses. Okay, so values inside, print my map, and you're basically adding this all on top of it. Okay, so it's nice. You can add things on top of it with this particular method right here. Play around with it. See what you can do. What other methods are there available? What do these actually do? Notice there's something here. It's called void. I'm going to talk about that. I think it's going to be the next video itself. So let's not worry about that right now. But let's just work on maps. It's pretty straightforward. I don't think you're going to have too many problems themselves, but just keep that in mind. And this accessing of the values is called key retrieval. And that's the most important thing to remember. Okay? Thank you very much.